Frustration turns to anger, which then leads to sadness. All these emotions rush through Rusthilt as he picks himself off the dirt floor, looks to Ruka and Hobbs, and realizes that once again they were felled by some creature in the wasteland. Though they outnumbered them 3-1, had new gear, armor, and even improved in their ability to fight, they were still taken down like they were nothing but measly peasants new to the wasteland. The walk back to Squin was silent, filled with a tension that even Ruka and Hobbs could feel. So Ruka floated an idea. There was another Shek warrior in Squin, one eager to put his blade by the side of those that were willing to pay the cats to do so. Unlike Nines, he seemed like he had seen combat, was equipped, and even skilled. And when this is brought up, Rusthilt listens, contemplates, and relents. Maybe they're not as practiced and ready for the wasteland as they wish they were. Maybe it's time to bring on one more. Once again, we find ourselves limping back to Squin. Not ideal, and not the way I was hoping that this particular outgoing party was going to end up, especially going 3v1 versus a bone dog, but unfortunately, this is where we find ourselves. Ruka and Hobbs both holding on to a body part in desperate need of being repaired. Hobbs' head, and it looks like Ruka, maybe her chest or her arm, and Rusthilt limping as fast as he humanly can, back to the safety of Squin's city walls. It's such a bummer. I am absolutely bummed, but this tells me one thing, or at the very least, it has Rusthilt thinking of one thing. We need another person who's better at combat. And there is somebody hanging around Squin who has multiple times offered his services. He doesn't have a sad story or need to be rescued. He is purely just a Shek who enjoys fighting, and that is Kang. We may be looking at taking Kang under our wing and hopefully teach us how to deal with combat as a group. Ruka is good. She's quite good, but she's also under the penalty of her armor, which she's not particularly used to quite yet, as well as genuinely just not being the greatest fighter yet. We're working on it. She's good with heavy weapons and hackers, and her strength is 26, and her melee attack and defense are 20 and 21 respectively. But again, those are all kind of low numbers in this world. If you think about it, most Dust Bandits operate somewhere in the mid-20s, and we're trying to get ourselves in such a position where we can take on a small group of them. I thought that we were going to have a nice little fight with a bone dog where we're going to, be able to truly put our three against something and win handily. And it would have been a nice confidence boost to Rusthilt and his friends, making him, feel like he's doing the right thing. And instead, it ended up being our downfall and ended up killing us in the end, or at least knocking us unconscious. Now, as always, there could be a benefit to it. But let's get everybody inside before we worry about what those benefits may or may not be, because we need everybody to lay down and they're laying down now. All right, Rusthilt, do we have a sleeping bag on you? Here, Rusthilt, trade with Ruka. Let's get another sleeping bag on the ground. We can research beds, or we have researched beds. I don't remember if we did either or yet, but let's take a peek. We just want a little bit of a bed for right now. So we'll just go ahead and craft that. He'll run over there. We need him to lie down. Okay, and I want him to just sleep. And for now, our three travelers give themselves up to the night's, the day sky, and let their wounds heal for now. Not fully knocked down and upset about the situation, but certainly not happy about it either. Copper still being brought in slowly. I think whoa, there's a blood spot over here. I wonder what that's from. Okay, they were definitely, it's quiet in town. Perhaps it's just because it's early, 7:30 in the morning. But it certainly feels very, very quiet in town right now. But 6,000 cats to grab ourselves another man by the name of Kang. He's offered his services twice, so clearly he's interested in what we have. It's just, man, I really was hoping we weren't going to have to bring on a fourth. And yet, it seems as though we don't really have much of a choice. Our fourth might be the only way we can handle a group of anybody. But it gives Rusthilt another opportunity to continue trying to be a leader worth his salt. Nobody wants a leader who is hard-headed and doesn't listen and doesn't attempt to improve things and just keeps hammering at the same thing over and over. And that's what it seems like Rusthilt and crew has been doing. Better gear, go out, fight. Okay, they lose, come back. Better gear, go out, fight. They lose. Okay, come back. It's clearly not working, or at the very least not working as fast or as efficiently as Rusthilt would like. And the quickest way to become efficient is to just bite the bullet and bring on just one more person. Rusthilt, however, has a nice toughness of 21. That's the stats that's going to keep going up. 29, 21, and 18 for Hobbs. Hobbs, however, being a long-range person, it shouldn't matter all that much. But for the moment, I think we're just going to go ahead and let things go until they're healed up, and then we will get back to improving our situation and maybe bringing on Kang as the person to truly teach us how to fight. His base stats are better than any of the base stats we've paid for so far. Nines being, again, the one that I paid 6K for, and his stats were terrible. But hey, his laboring's going pretty good, and so is Falls. His athletics is going up, his strength is not really improved all that much, but hey, it's better than nothing. Oh, interesting. Nines has an ability here. Well, I opened up conversation. Every time I'm like, here, check my gear. Nines, however, I was like, you think of me as a Shek warrior, as nothing but lowly kin? And here's the thing. He has his horns. I tried this once, just kind of off camera with Fall as he was doing some work. And he has, again, his horns have been sawed off, so he's considered an outsider. And they were just like, you're an outsider. But now, with Nines, it seems I can actually say something. We should be united as kin, not accusing our own. I'm a proud swordsman, it's not a sneaking coward. Don't huff, sister, come on, let me through, or don't you even know who I am, it's an insult. I'm a proud warrior, not a sneaking coward. Agreed, I won't treat a warrior a cheater. Wow, it actually worked. So will that mean he will not be, his bags will not be checked over and over? Or if we were to ever do some thieving, would we be able to sneak it into Nine's bags and hope that it works? Or is that just a random happenstance? Because it does look like if we go to Fall, he has his horns. Ruka's the only one that doesn't have any horns. They've been sawed off out of all the people that we have in our employ. I'm not sure, but if we ever wanted to smuggle some drugs, that might be it. Rusthilt is the first to arouse from his slumber of healing. Almost fully healed here, only a couple points missing. But while it was certainly Ruka's idea to bring on Kang, Ruka's the one that's spoken with Kang multiple times, being one of the Shek warriors. Rusthilt is curious if Kang will listen to him, if Kang will allow Rusthilt to hire. He will be the leader of the group, and it's important for him to recognize him as such. Now, granted, if Ruka goes and does it, he'll likely say yes, but then he'll be kind of bamboozled in a way, kind of led to believe that Ruka was the one looking for him. That's the only way. But that is also a lesson that Kang may have to learn, that even us humans work in wily ways. And when a Shek pledges themselves to somebody, it's for the length of time that they promise, no matter what. And that includes Kang pledging himself to this crew, even if he finds out that our dear friend, oh, there's a goat up here. That our dear friend Ruka misled him, even a little bit. I'm curious, are we sneaking? We are sneaking. Oh, it's tempting. Oh, it's so very tempting. Let's see if we can pick this lock. We actually did. Lots of food. Stealing chance pretty high. Nothing worth stealing, though. But we can go ahead and pick the lock of everything else. You're not skilled enough. Well, don't look so down on yourself. Hang on. Okay. It's still good practice for us to be picking these locks in the meanwhile. There's just dried meat in there. Not skilled enough. Leather. I mean, the leather is nice, but not needed. I don't see Kang. Well, let's stop sneaking. Man, Rustilt is a fast boy. Flotsam Ninjas. I'm not particularly interested. Namtam. Khalid. The Wall. Kang. There he is. Looking for protection, fragile Flatskin. Maybe. Who you calling fragile? The fragile Flatskin wishes to prove me wrong. Interesting. Well, got any skills? Shek Warrior Flatskin. Do you really need to ask? Lose the attitude, maybe work something out. And how much are you charging? 6,000 cats. I will enjoy the challenge of keeping a fragile Flatskin alive. That's the spirit. Let's go. Now you are my Flatskin. Nobody will touch you. As I said, Kang eager to seem to join us, not because he's willing to join our army and he sees the greater good or whatever we're doing. He doesn't seem to care about that. He merely cares about the challenge of trying to keep Rustilt alive. And that is just as valuable, and even maybe more so, than somebody who's just joining up because they've got nothing better to do and need a little money. And that's that. We have them. Kang, welcome. So, let's take a look at Kang's statistics. Holy crap. Holy crap! He's almost as good a field medic as Rustilt. He's not as good as an engineer or science, but that's okay. His strength isn't as high as Ruka's, but his practice and everything else, including heavy weapons, is incredible. Welcome to the crew, Kang. Let's bring you back. We're probably going to need to equip you with something. But welcome. You're going to be part of the Forgotten Crew. Well, Kang comes with just a horse chopper. We are immediately going to get him something a little bit better than that. I might give him a katana. His katana skill is 18. Sabers are katana's 17. That's 18. Everything he's pretty good with. We might want to go buy him something. Is his hacker skills is 21. Why don't we just give him a flesh cleaver for now? We might go buy him a much better one, though. And let's see what kind of armor we've got here. If I was to throw on the samurai armor, how would that go for him? His attack would still be a 14. A 14 in the samurai armor. That's actually not bad. He's going to be a little overweight. If we pop him... Oh, no, his attack is a 6. No, not a 14. It's a 14 indoors. Is it because the weather outside is really bad when he goes outside? He's getting a -8 due to the weather. So if we can get him something to protect himself from that, I'm curious how good it would be. A ninja mask might not be bad, 40% with the dust storms. But also, giving him that isn't a bad thing. We'll throw in the ninja mask in his inventory just so he has it at any given time. If we pop him out now. 6. Yeah, -8 due to the weather. And then if we were to do that, he doesn't have to protect himself, and he's at a 9. It's not ideal. And I think weather is something we're really going to have to keep in mind when we go out. I do not ever think about the weather, and that could have been the reason we kind of collapsed as we did and died. Which is a shame, but also my own fault. Okay. Well, we've got some more organization to do, so we might as well. We'll have him continue working on trading leathers. And we'll have Rustilt continue working on tanning leathers. And I'm going to wake up Ruka here, and we're going to do some sellage. And then we're going to go see if we can buy ourselves some cloth, because we're going to need it for the things that they're making. We also might go buy Kang a new weapon. Alright, so first, all of that. We could even drop by a few books here, maybe like 10 books. We still have 4,000 cats, and people are still working on things. Ancient military documents. Looks like it'd be value find. Details location of old Empire military cache. It might have some valuable equipment inside. If it was Rustilt buying, I might say no. but because it's Ruka, we're gonna crack it. That's something she cares a great deal about. Wow, it's way out there. It's a ruined outpost. Further beyond it's beyond the tiny settlement into the, I believe, the Sten Desert, into something else that I don't know what this is. There's a way station out that way too. Interesting. Very, very interesting. An excursion may be worth checking out, especially with Kang. Maybe that's what we want to do. Ruka would tell Rustilt that she's found or heard location of a rundown military base that might have some good weapons for us. And that alone, that might be all she says. Another... Yeah, they're gonna check Nine's bag again, huh? Just look at the gear. Ruka, come on back. A new excursion. I'm excited. Alright, let's drop the cloth in here. We'll keep saving money. We'll try and buy some weapons the following day. Kang stands guard. It's the only thing he was hired to do, and it's the only thing he wants to do. He challenges himself by protecting a human, a flat skin. And while they're in Squin, no danger will approach them. But that does not mean that Kang does not stand ready for any danger that may find their way here. It's not unheard of for starving bandits to cause a ruckus, and dust bandits to cause a problem every so often. And Kang eagerly awaits those attacks and hopes they come. The challenge of protecting a flat skin is one that the Shek don't come across too often. You know, as I scroll back and I look at all of our characters' names kind of sitting around, it's crazy how it feels quickly to me, and I'm sure it's not quickly for everybody else, but again, I'm playing mostly like 90% blind, and I'm just trying to learn the game on my own and let the story tell itself as best it can. I can't help but sit back and be kind of impressed that we've got our own little kind of mechanism, or organism maybe even running here. We have people out there mining and bringing us money. We've got our own little expedition crew. They keep getting their ass beat, but they get better every single time. It's interesting to watch Rustilt's little promising group of friends turn into a promising little civilization if things go his way rather. I'm enjoying it quite a bit, I must say. Well, we're gonna put good old Kang to work here. We're gonna do a little bit of research. He's not the most scientifically minded man in the world by any stretch, but the only thing he's really good at is fighting. But we need to put him to use for right now. And we're gonna have him research beds, a light wind generator theory for smaller wind generators for future stuff. Desert cooking, which I feel could be useful if we are gonna head into a long excursion into the desert, which gives us dust witches and chew sticks, which sounds so delicious. And weapon melting, which will take shit that we don't want, and we can melt it down if we have the right tools for it to get actual iron back, which is great. In the meanwhile, we're gonna have Ruka swing out this way, sell the copper that we've gotten so far, and then maybe go look at some better armor or some better weapons for our dear man friend Kang. The samurai armor still feels like it might be a bad call, so we might want to get some plated stuff, much like we have for the rest of our friends here. For now, we'll go ahead and sell what we've got, and we're gonna swing out to I think we're gonna go weapons first. I think that's our best bet. So he's really good with heavy weapons, so I'm kind of thinking we get him something heavy weapons, but they're so expensive, except for some of the stuff down here. If we get him something that's a hacker class, though, I'm okay with that. $6,612 for this. Armor penetration 3. Defense and indoor penalty is bad, but we're going outside. Damage versus animals is bad, but damage versus robots is +2? Really? None of these feel great as, like, great options, unfortunately. Right now, he's got a flesh cleaver. It does extra damage to humans and robots. I might just leave him with that for now. Maybe we'll get something better off into the little area that Ruka would like to bring everybody. So let's just swing into the armor area and see if we can get him some better armor. Or something more wearable, I guess. I think we might give him this rusty chainmail tangle must for protection during dust storms. Even if we don't end up using it, let's go ahead and grab it. Even if we don't end up using it much, I'm okay with having it. I also kind of want to get him like a chain shirt or a leather shirt something that we can put underneath his armor for better protection. We'll get the money, it's just gonna take us time. Samurai cloth pants. Heavy, heavy. I'd rather go medium if we can. Let's go ahead and grab him these, and we might as well bring them back and have him equipped with them. We'll keep this for now in case the dust storms go down. And then with Ruka, let's swing into the armor. And we'll go ahead and grab him some... I was gonna say get some decent pants, but it doesn't look like we've got any. But we can give him some boots that are not shit. I think leaving him with the heavy pants, while not ideal, they're high grade, man. They're good stuff. So I think we're gonna leave them for now, and we'll let money continue to be racked up, and I'm gonna let them continue to work a little bit on some of the other stuff going on. Actually, more food. Ruka and Kang, let's get them out here. I want them to fight. Let's slow things down, and let's get these Garu to fight us, and then have them run in. Pull them back a little bit, let the guards move in. And then we'll say attack all and send them in. So Ruka's gonna move in right here. Oh, attack all means everybody comes out and fights. I'm dumb. Ruka getting some good swings in. Kang getting a little bit beat up, actually. Not by much, just a little bit. Rusthilt just got punched in the gut and he got knocked out. And then Rusthilt's gonna continue healing, so let's get Ruka to immediately grab all the leather. This is actually working out really well for us when this actually happens. Grab it all. Because Ruka wants it all, or nothing at all. She's foraging animals here, I guess? Don't know what that means. I guess she got it all. And hooray for us, we have a bunch of new meat. So first, let's go ahead and drop the leather in here. Kang can get back in. They can all start healing up. But Ruka's gonna be busy. Let's go ahead and start cooking. And we're gonna have more dried meat to hurl into this, into here for saving. That went supremely well. Actually, Kang, you know what? Just keep using this. Keep on researching. Everything worked out wonderfully. Free food for us. It's not great food, but it's free food. If there's one thing Ruka has become quite good at, it's dangling a carrot in front of Rusthilt. She knows exactly what to say to get him wound up and excited about something. And the promise of better equipment and a possible step up here in the wasteland to position themselves into a small seat of power with that equipment, or at the very least make some good money off of it, Rusthilt was eager to snap and bite at that chance. Well, it seems like Nines rather fell over here. I don't see food, but he was clearly bitten. I didn't see the thing blink either, but that's maybe on me. I wish there was a way the game kind of notified me a little earlier, but he's all messed up. And I'm only realizing this when I switched over to see what was going on here. I genuinely don't know what happened, so I'm gonna come over here. We'll pick him up. Is there a log? Like a combat log? I don't see it, but let's go ahead and bring him back. And then we'll medic him up. That I don't know what happened. Bandits, maybe? All right, well, luckily, our boy is a medic here, Kang. So let's go ahead and first aid him. We'll take care of him. Nines will rest, and he can get back up on his feet in a little bit. Kang will guard him in the meanwhile. And so after a little bit of work and taking care of everything in the base, the four, Kang included, are ready to make their trip to these supposed military ruins. The way it's going to work is they're going to head to the hub first, and then they're going to head east and follow the path to the Holy Ruined Outpost, way station, tiny settlement, the same path they followed that they know is relatively safe, or at least know that path relatively well, and then from this tiny settlement they'll head into the desert and attempt to cross it to get to this outpost. I'm nervous. I'm very, very nervous, but there's only one way to make sure things work out, or at least see if it's worth it, and that's just to damn well do it. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna move all of our backpacks into the inventory, with the exception of maybe one backpack, so that they can grab food if they need it. But we're gonna move all of our backpacks otherwise into their inventories to keep their light a little bit weight, or rather the weight a little bit light, and if they ever get into fighting, I won't have to manage it in that way, and won't weigh them down in the process. We have no dust storm happening right now, so I'm gonna swap his armor so that he's wearing something a little bit more protective. And we're gonna really make a go at this. I'm hoping that it's abandoned, but I don't know what this area is, and the water scares me. I'm not gonna lie. But before we have to worry about any of that, we still have to worry about that. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed, things go well, and the journey for the Forgotten begins again. I'm sure the Squin workers know exactly what happens when they are no longer in the building. They don't really say much to each other. The Shek aren't much for words. But off we go, back to the hub, with hopes of bettering ourselves. Also, there's a camp nearby that we're gonna have to be very, very, very careful of. It's just to our right. I don't see it. So hopefully they don't see us. Seems like that's gonna be the case. We brought plenty of food for this travel, but if we need to, we could always stop at the way station along the way if we realize we're going to be running out of cash a bit. And there is the hub, our favorite little beginner spot. Speed things along. You know, there was a time when I wrestled a randy gorilla with my bare hands. I'm sorry, who's saying that? Hobbs? All right, Hobbs. I hope it went well for you. Hobbs is telling a story. I thought he was just saying a one-liner when he's talking about wrestling a randy gorilla. Now he's saying, and he did, and then he said, then we sat down together at a campfire and we talked about those pesky cacti. He gave me a what? All right, Gramps. Nap time soon. Hang on, let's look at the dialogue there. That was interesting. Let's see. Hobbs, you know there was a time when I wrestled a randy gorilla with my bare hands. Right here it was. I sipped a very large amount of rum, so it was the most wobbly of battles. But I did it. I taught the randy gorilla a lesson in manners and restraint, so I did. Then we sat down together at the campfire and we talked about those pesky cacti. He gave me a... And then Rustilt just cuts him off. All right, Gramps. Nap time soon. Well, Hobbs, you are quite the character. Take a sip of your medicine and save us from your stories, would you? Afraid I'm all out. The old rum bottle's completely drained. So it is. I didn't realize these guys would talk to each other. That's the first time I've really caught them having a conversation. That's incredible. I love that Rustilt's like, shut up. Just stop talking. Hobbs is the merrier of all of our friends here, so. Well, here we are at the hub, so now we're gonna make our way to the tiny settlement. At least that's the plan. Let's see if we can make this happen. Well on our way to this abandoned supposed military fortress that holds treasures untold. Sounds too promising to be true, but there's only one way to find out. There's the ruined Holy Nation outpost, place we visited a couple times. Always good to see it. We're about halfway there. At least halfway to the point where we need to start worrying. We do have a camp up ahead, and it seems we're heading right for it. I'd rather that not be the case. We could probably run by them, but I think I'd rather them try and circumvent around that camp, as we usually try to do anyway. If we can come down that way, and we'll tell our crew, Rustilt rather, will tell our crew that he shows them the map and reminds them that there is a camp up that way, and they do best to avoid it. There's another camp to our right here as well. And we can actually see some dust bandits up ahead. So let's go ahead and drop some sneakage happening. go ahead and speed things along and see if we can get through here without being caught out. Granted, we're in the middle of the day, so I'm not expecting it to go supremely well, but we'll certainly try. Well, they can see us, so we're going to run. Sneak off. Everybody go. Doesn't look like they're trying to fight us. It doesn't look like they're shouting for us to slow down or any of that stuff, so we're going to have them continue to move through. We'll keep an eye behind. And it seems like at least to the tiny settlement we'll probably be okay. Let's slow things back down. Yeah, there's a tiny settlement up ahead. And there before our crew stands the next leg of the journey. The journey Rustilt's not entirely sure will even be a success. The only time they've truly ventured into the desert was just temporarily. A skin spider, they call it, found them and attempted to annihilate them, eat them, devour them, as most wildlife in the wasteland does. And now as we stare across this desert, the question now lingers, what other manner of beast wait for them in the Great Plains to rip them limb from limb and devour them for lunch? And will Kang being added to their crew be enough to stop them from dying? Or will it be a peaceful journey, a lucrative journey, and one that'll put them one step ahead and make them more resilient against the wasteland?